Hi everyone, welcome to IT Hour. Thanks so much for taking the time to join us today. Apologies for being a little late. That was totally my fault. Had some typical Chrome reboot issues at the exact wrong moment. But we made it, and thanks again for joining us. It's been a little while since we last did one of these IT hours, and firstly, I wanted to apologise for that, but also just explain that we do value the whole community of people that listen and join these sessions, and we are going to continue to evolve the program going forward and changing the format and trying different things. We may even choose a different name or a different platform, whatever. We're kind of continually looking to see how we can improve it. But one of the areas that we want to really focus on with IT Hour is to give the absolute very best information to you, our users, prospective users, partners, anyone from the JumpCloud ecosystem, the best information and advice that we possibly can, which is where we're going to start to leverage the kind of top JumpCloud product managers to show us different capabilities within the platform. So that's not going to change, and today's no exception. I'll come on to today's speaker in a second, but that's what we're going to continue to do to kind of offer that service going forward. Um, as ever with the IT hour, if you get any questions, any comments, pop them in the chat. We'll try and address them as we go along, and the ones that we're not able to, we will respond to afterwards. Also, outside of here, keep the community going. The Slack lounge, I'm in there. We can always sort of have conversations. Or if you want to talk more about IT Hour in general, just drop me an email. It's chris.tate@jumpcloud.com, and we can have a further conversation. But as I say, without further ado, as I know we are running a little late, I'd like to introduce you to my friend and colleague, Rob McGrath, who is here today to talk more about reporting within JumpCloud. Over to you, Rob.
Hello, everybody. Thank you guys for having me. Again, my name is Rob McGrath. I'm here on the product team. I work with the platform experience team. So we do kind of the odds and ends parts of the JumpCloud platform, making it hum along. Work a lot with MTP. So any of you providers out there or MTP admins out there, hello. I'll be working on some cool features for you guys coming soon. So I'm excited to be back probably in a couple months to show you guys our progress with that. But today I'm here to talk to you guys about a very hot topic in JumpCloud and a very important change coming to JumpCloud, and that is around our reporting platform. So let's see if it's an equal opportunity day where my Firefox decides to not be nice, because it looks like Chrome wasn't being nice. Maybe open source things aren't good either. And let's see. Boom. Firefox is nice to me today. It just crashed while you were talking before, Chris, so don't feel too bad. But anywho, today I'm excited to show you guys the next iteration of our reporting platform. So many of you guys, obviously, if you're an admin, and I've been an admin in my past life as well, where at the end of the day, you could do all the amazing things in JumpCloud. You could do device management, user management. You could deploy apps with us, deploy apps with software management. You can set up SSO, but all of that is not particularly helpful if you can't prove that you actually did it. You can have the best, most ironclad policies in the world, but if it comes to a compliance audit and you need to run a report and need to show the data, not a whole lot helpful with that if you have to do 500 screenshots and combine things and get into some Excel magic. I've heard the horror stories of what admins have had to do with our previous experience around reporting. So I'm excited today to show you guys basically the phase 2 and tease you guys with phase 3 coming up very soon with reporting. Now, this is currently in private preview, and this will be rolling out to a public preview in a gradual kind of slow roll fashion over the next several weeks. So stay tuned. If you don't see your admin portal looking like this at the moment, reach out to your account manager, reach out to support, somebody like that, if you really absolutely need to get it in there. But if it's not absolutely urgent, this will be live soon. So stay tuned, and I'm going to show you guys some of the cool features for it. So right off the bat, all I did was go to the reporting section here. This immediately looks different. You'll see a whole lot more reports here, and it's just a completely different UI. This also is very similar, if you've noticed, to the same device list that I was here several months ago talking about, where like it's a brand new table having a whole new look and feel. We have the actions button over here, which lets you actually download the reports. But the most exciting part of all this is actually viewing the report in the UI. So when I come in, I can actually click on this, and I don't have to download a CSV to go and see what's actually in this report. Kind of It was kind of annoying to always have to do that. And then if it didn't have the right columns or didn't have the right data in it, you'd have to download one CSV and you'd have to download another CSV and then combine them and then filter and do all kinds of Excel magic. We're trying to help you remove all that. So with that in mind, now you have the ability to do several things to this report. So in here, this is limited to only 500 items at the moment. So this is a current limitation. In the future, this may change, but at the moment, this is a preview of 500 items just to make sure you have the right data coming out and you can see what you're actually getting. Because a lot of times, a lot of these reports, you fire it off and you have no clue if it's the right data or not. And we want to help kind of cut that out. So you have a couple things. One, you can apply filters in here. So for instance, if I wanted to filter on the fact that the hardware vendor, if I want to make sure it had, there's a Mac. Oh, you know what? I didn't have the full everything. Let's pick a better filter. So let's say operating system is Windows. Hopefully this org has Windows devices. Yep. So when it comes into here, like this just filtered out all of this. I don't have to do this outside of the platform, and it made this report a whole lot more digestible. So I could see everything on my Windows devices without having to go and download this and filter and do all that jazz. The other thing is, like for instance, on this report, if I don't have, like let's say I want to have the serial number on this report. It's not currently in here. So I can go to edit columns and we have a whole lot more columns available to you. In fact, there are dozens and dozens and dozens of columns, and we want to keep growing this list of options that you can actually report upon. But if I want to come in here and I can add a hardware serial number to the device or the software inventory report, this can show me exactly what it is. And I can even edit the columns and reorder them to be in the exact order I want. So I want the serial number to be right next to the device display name. Come in here and apply this. And now this is exactly how I wanted. I have the serial number where I wanted it. I have the exact data in here, and this all is very straightforward, like pretty much what I want. Now, when I download the CSV, it goes off and fires a download, and I have a crafted, filtered, tweaked, updated report that is ready for me to use and answer whatever compliance questionnaire that I have at that moment. Now, this is all stuff that's in phase two, all the things I just showed you, the new UI, the several new reports, the ability to update with columns and filter and all that stuff. But this is a nice tweak to be able to do, but not the end all be all. Like at the end of the day, many of you admins, and I've seen the requests out there, and I've been this guy myself, of the sweet spot is having the ability to run this exact same report on a regular basis. So with that in mind, we are allowing you guys to get to the point where you have saved reports. So for instance, phase two, you will not see this tab, but phase three, which is coming hot on the heels of phase two, like very, very quickly after that, I can come in here and see the saved reports. Like for instance, I messed with this report about 12 days ago or 8 days ago, whatever it was, the date I saw. And I can come in and get the exact report that I had just run and download it again. So I'm not forced to make the column selections, reorder it, and do all that stuff over and over again. Effectively getting to the point where I can have custom reports. I can download this CSV or a JSON or delete the report. But what this does is it brings JumpCloud to the point where you can get the data that you need in the form and fashion that you would like and get it out on a regular basis, that you don't have to fight the data or do some crazy combinations of several. I've heard of people combining anywhere between 2 to 6 different CSV files to get the proper report put together, and that is a miserable experience. So I'm happy to help you guys not have quite as miserable an experience as this is. So all in all, this is a pretty straightforward demo for you guys. Like data is data, and I'm excited to have this turned on for our private preview customers. But if you're interested, again, reach out to your account managers and go through that channel. And also, for those of you guys that are just going to be patiently waiting, this will be live very soon. It's going to roll out to the customer. So just stay tuned and just keep checking that report tab, and you'll see a new UI very soon. So I know there may be some questions in the chat, but go ahead and get to those.
Yeah, as Rob says, anyone got any questions? I mean, that looks super cool to me. I think that the saved reports is going to be a huge time saver for everyone. So that's yeah, that's amazing. I think that's something that's really going to help people out. So I'm looking forward to seeing that drop into the portal.
And yeah, Keith, I saw that same thing. He's asking, keeps asking about the device being Mac OS X, even though it's been Mac OS for quite a while. It likely is a legacy data thing, maybe in our database. For instance, like the reports at one point in time showed Darwin, which no admin in the right mind would ever, like, no average random Joe would know that Darwin would equate to Mac OS, but it did, and it showed up on the reports, originally there because the data says it there. But I think we could probably get that tweak to say Mac OS. But I think everybody else here would know like Mac OS X is the same as Mac OS. Maybe it'll make us remind us of a simpler time. That's the goal. I'll say that's what it is. It's not a bug; it's a feature. I'll do Steve Jobs.
Yeah, I think one of the things we've spoken before, Rob, about the opportunity around looking, sort of creating simple rerunnable reports on kind of Windows OS status, for example. So when certain Windows devices go end of life, you can easily get a very quick view and a report on that, which is, again, super handy to make sure that people are compliant before the kind of October deadline. So I think that's really useful as well.
Oh yeah, that is we anticipate this being very helpful for admins out there because I know none of our admins still have Windows 10 devices because that's, that would be wild. But wink wink nudge nudge. But the Microsoft is sticking to that 10 years thing, and so October is going to be an interesting time for many admins out there as they remediate that. Will dynamic device groups be able to use these new fields around application version installed? That's a great question, Keith. I can find out for you. Let me fix my Windows
Yeah,
real
that is
quick.
a good question. Does anyone else have any other questions on reporting while Rob's looking at that?
Oh, I see the question about October and Microsoft. So Windows on October 14th this year, Microsoft's going to have end of support for Windows 10. So it's no longer going to get security updates. So
Yeah.
those of you guys that have Windows 10 devices, there's going to be the deluge of 0 day stuff that's just all of a sudden out in the wild on October 15th. But
And there's something like, I think the last time I looked, I think over probably 20% of installed Windows devices are still running Windows 10. So there's going to be a huge, there's got to be a huge kind of upgrade program or hardware replacement program before October. Or people are not going to be secured, which is probably going to stop access to their OS 365.
now I do have another feature I could show. It might be a little premature, but that's okay. Um, but we can talk about some work that we're doing since I'm also working on, in addition to reporting, there's another exciting feature that we're doing as like kind of a closed beta with you guys with the public. So it's okay, but we can get a lot of you guys in here because in the past we've had great success in working with the IT Hour crowd of using for early access tests. So if you guys are interested, I'm going to show my screen again if I can get it working properly. There we go. So on the back of reporting, we have a cool feature coming up that we're working on as well. And it's basically going to be, and this is going to look wildly different. This is like beta of betas. So definitely take this with a grain of salt because we have some big UI changes coming here. But many of you guys may or may not have ever seen this button in the top left corner, this go to button. If you push this today, it's going to bring up a little window that kind of helps you navigate around, the UI elements and get to individual small pieces of like data there, like users or devices and stuff like that. But what we're looking to do, and me and the team that had originally built the AI, like the JumpCloud AI beta that we had about a year ago, are looking to incorporate a large language model fueled um, capability in the admin portal directly. So you don't go outside of it. And it also works with the data of your company directly in here. So if I want to have the ability to, for instance, like give me a list of Mac OS devices out of date. That's a really annoying query. And I'm hoping the demo gods are nice to me. Yep, the demo gods are not nice to me. It actually loaded the query while I was showing this. There we go. So what this is I just did the exact same query and my UI finally loaded it. But basically, when I go to run this query, to do this in reporting, it would have taken me several minutes to go pull up the report, get the proper column selected, apply the filters, find the versions, find the versions that are appropriate, and then know which ones are latest, and then work with all of this. But basically, this did all this for me. All the AI did, the AI did not go out and just like munch on your data to go and do this. All the AI did was take my question in this top search bar and converted it to a query that our API could understand, and it fired off that query and returned it back to you. So right now, I can go ahead and get this, and it's only 10 devices on this, and I can simply download the CSV or the JSON file, and there we go. Fires off, and there I have my CSV file. This is something that we're actually wanting to get, like, for instance, right after this, there's going to be a view in reports button. So this will actually create a report that I can view, tweak, update, and when I have saved reports, save as well. This also does, how can I use conditional access policies? So this also renders the like support center articles directly in the UI as well, so I don't have to go and hunt them down. And it can even answer them a little with more context. So if I give it one that doesn't exactly match the help center, it will actually build it as well. So this is coming out. We'll be opening this up obviously to private preview customers. So if you guys are interested in this, absolutely reach out to me. It's rob.mcgrath@jumpcloud.com. Happy to turn this on for your organization, and we'll walk you through it. Right now, again, this is like early stages of a beta, but we would love to get this in customer hands to have you fire off queries. And even if it doesn't work, like if it just doesn't work, push the thumbs down. I'm going to say thumbs up because this one actually did work. But if it doesn't work, push the thumbs down, and we'll monitor these requests saying like, yeah, it looks like this query is not working, and we find out exactly what went on with this. This we feel, I would imagine as a former admin, I would love to have something where I could just throw a question that's terribly formatted at it and see what it does, and then have it fire back useful results. So we're definitely looking at leveraging this for finding individual things. Like we want to be able to connect like system insights data to this, where if I throw an IP address at this, rather than going through each device and going one by one trying to find if I can get to that one a device and comb through the system insights tabs or go to my networking tool, if I just throw an IP address at that search and it goes and finds the device that has an IP address, it'll be great. And then at the end of the day, if I have a question that I don't know if it's even going to work as a query, boom, it could do that and be the foundation for a report. And ultimately, this will be something that's going to grow over time. So happy to turn this on for any of you guys, and stay tuned because I'd love to get this in a public preview as well. Just have people fire questions at this as well. So let's see, any other questions?
Yeah, we had a great one from Tad about creating a button to create a device group. It seems specifically so that he can remove Adobe Reader, which seems to be
Yes. So actually, so that's a great question. In my view, as we kind of mature this and as like workflow capability comes online for JumpCloud, that exact use case. I got these results, and it is like, for instance, I think the other than just viewing in reports, which is very helpful because the reports are one thing, but reports you don't do things with. That's just data. But I would love for there also to be like view in device list as an option, or just do an action on that. So like an actions button of like make a device group out of X devices. Would like we absolutely want to get workflows plugged into this as well, because there are some things that AI does, and what the way we're approaching this with this solution is that the AI is not going through your hundreds, if not thousands, of devices or hundreds or thousands of users or anything like that to figure all this out, because that opens up a lot of room for errors and hallucinations and mistakes. But all it's doing is the actual query part. And then the admin itself can come along and see, hey, these are the 5 devices I look up. And if we get to the point, for instance, like in the future of like, oh, if we have a Jane Doe and say, hey, add Jane Doe to this group, like it's going, you can make sure it's the right Jane Doe. Jane Doe with DOE as opposed to DOUGH, which would be the worst last name ever made. But hey, why not? I'm sure there's crazier last names out there. But all that to say, this is very cool, exciting, early days of this, and we would love to get this in customer hands to kick the tires and see if you can, get something useful out of us making a feature like this. So very exciting. Looking at this, so via the report, so the legacy route of download. So there's a question about able to run and download the reports via the API. At this point, for the new reports, it would be at this point in time, no, not yet. The legacy reports will still be there. So if you have automations that rely upon the legacy API for reports, that will still work. But overall, in the future, like that is the goal. So stay tuned for our API documentation. And I'll likely, or myself or another product manager from the reporting team will be able to come back on here and kind of give you the news like, hey, APIs are ready to support this. But at this point in time, like day one, it wouldn't be there. And it looks like having a script that queries for devices with X software. So Tad, creating groups would lead to config confirmations. Yes, like the way I would approach if I had the AI like workflows and then we had the magic wand kind of thing. If we had workflows attached to this AI tool, absolutely, we would not just like assume things. Like I would absolutely have confirmations for the admin to do this because, yeah, we've seen horror stories online of people relying on AI to do things like this, and they've nuked instances, and we don't want to be in the news for the wrong reasons. I'd love to be popular online for the right reasons, and it's like JumpCloud's AI works great rather than something horrible like all the other things out there. Jacob, around this vibe adminning, yes, that's what it would be. That's hilarious. It's something that the webhooks actually. So if you're interested in learning about more about webhooks and that kind of initiative or things around that. We have seen feature requests around this. Jacob, shoot me an email and I can get you connected with the right team for that because it's not exactly the reporting team, but I can get you connected with the PM for that. So I'm going to put my email in the chat. Hopefully you see it. But rob.mcgrath@jumpcloud.com. And I'll get you connected with the right team.
Awesome. Yeah, webhooks are something I know I've been speaking about quite a bit. So that's quite exciting. And thanks for showing that sort of future stuff there, Rob. That was super useful. So if there are no further questions, I guess we can end it there. But what I just wanted to say quickly is thanks again for joining. Hopefully what we've demonstrated today with Rob going demo and then showing some future stuff is this is kind of what we want the IT hour to be, which is maybe it's definitely not salesy, it's not pitchy. We're going to sort of get the right product managers in to come and talk about upcoming features that are kind of near future and a little bit further on, and then have kind of detailed conversations and hopefully get the software in your hands as soon as possible to start to play with it and to look at it. So we want this to continue with different product managers each time around, and hopefully it's been valuable to you. But as I said at the outset, if you've got any questions or comments, drop me an email, which I will put in the chat, or drop a message on the Slack channel, and we can take the conversation further on from there. But with that, just thanks again for joining. Thanks so much, Rob, for taking the time to update us all today. And I shall speak to everyone soon. Have a fantastic weekend.
Bye, everybody.